The international community has held meetings with key players, issued official statements, but have gone out of their way to say they are respecting Somalia's sovereignty. Their response to the nation's political crisis seems fairly ineffective to many observers. The International Crisis Group publishes many reports and articles meant to stir public debate about political issues. Their aim is to arm international bodies and individuals with more information to make better decisions. ICG Somalia expert Omar Mahmoud joins us to help us understand the action or inaction of Mogadishu's partners.
I think the international community's response has been a little hands-off throughout, this entire electoral cycle. They did come out with a bit of a strong response after the clashes we saw in April, but that's been about it. So in the recent power struggle, I haven't seen too much, just kind of bland statements that get issued over and over.
He says that the ICG has argued there needs to be a stronger international response.
Part of those aspects can be, just even signaling publicly, that certain actions you feel are spoiler actions that are getting us away from an election, that are distracting from that process, which should really be the main priority. And so I don't think we've seen them go that way. There's been some resistance on their part. There's been some divisions within the international community as well, of course.
The U.S. has been a key partner in the past, but they appear to be reformulating a Somalia policy throughout President Joe Biden's first year.
You're not going to see too much of a shift. I think right now everything's a little bit on pause. This was driven by Trump's decision to reposition troops, just before the end of his tenure. And, I don't know if we'd see a major change in terms of that aspect, but generally I think that the whole U.S. policy is in wait-and-see mode. And also, of course, Yamamoto's left his position. The new ambassador hasn't come in just yet. So there's also a bit of a gap there.
Some have accused Qatar of having too much influence over the Farmajo administration.
I think Qatar is interested in the Somalia elections, just as many Gulf nations are and external nations. And we've seen that role come through financial support to certain candidates in the past. But we've also seen them hedge. Most of the actors don't have just one particular candidate. So I'd be surprised if they're going, 100% in on one particular individual, one particular candidate, but really looking around for options. And we'll probably see that happen the closer we get to the actual presidential election.
Spaniard Nicolas Berlanga has been vocal in his role as European Union ambassador. He was recently replaced by Estonian diplomat Tiina Intelmann.
So anytime you have, a position like EU ambassador change, I do think you'll see maybe some subtle aspects that might be different, but the wider continuity, that's the point of some of these foreign sort of service systems, that there is wider continuity regardless of who's actually sitting in Mogadishu or not.
Tomorrow, we will be joined again by the esteemed analyst to discuss the Taliban's takeover in Afghanistan and why that should worry Somalia. ADN TV will continue to report on political and diplomatic developments regarding Somalia.